Want to spend more time obsessing over every stitch? Shopify's tools help you sell everywhere. Like online, on social, in person, and so much more. Get the right tools at Shopify.
Let me show you how we do stuff around here.
Actually, my department uses Monday.com, so I'm good.
A work management tool? No, that's not for me.
Well, Monday.com
Good evening and welcome to round 3 of AOR's Season 15 Tier 1 Speedy Boys. I'm RageF1 and unfortunately I'm not joined by Tim this evening. He's in a bath. So yeah, he'll be well and truly marinated by the time we speak to him next time. However, we do have a race on our hands, so let's skip on over. Watkins Glen this time, and I think it might be a little bit damp. Bear with us and we'll go straight to the action. So, round 3 is looking like it's starting off very damp indeed. We're still in free practice, got a couple of minutes to go, so whilst we do that, we'll probably just double check on what happened last time out so you guys can catch up with the details from last race. If you didn't join us, then let's just go through some of that information now. So, standings then. Currently leading the championship is Aidan Walsingham. There you go, 179 points for him. Just behind Aidan Walsingham, surprise, surprise, is Luke Whitehead with 176 points. George Boothby hot on the heels with 165 in third. Harley Chamberlain, she's doing well. 131 points for Harley Chamberlain, the outshining star of Tier 1 so far this season. Definitely impressing every time we see them out on track. Johnny A then in 5th place with 115 points, followed by Alejandro Avilés in 6th place with 107. Valentin Barrier in 7th place with 99 points, just one short of 100. Alex Torregrosa, one back from him in 8th with 92 points. Then we got Krzysztof Makowski in 9th place and Kieran Prendergast rounding out the top 10. Won't go too much into the rest of the grid because we do have 48 strong drivers here so far, but just going into what happened last race, Aidan Walsingham came away with the W. Luke Whitehead in 2nd place and was chased down at the end of the race by Valentin Barrier, who came across in 3rd. Jards managed to finish in 4th, George Boothby just behind him, Hardy Chamberlain in 6th place, Krzysztof Makowski in 7th, 8th place was Alejandro Avilés, and then we got Kieran Prendergast and Alex Torregrosa rounding out the top 10. So, let's just go through some times that we're seeing right now in practice so you guys can see what the lay of the land is, let's say. Aidan Walsingham currently leading the pack with a 149.7, but it's very wet out there. I will go through some of those settings so you guys know what to expect for this race. So, we have got some changes. That won't help, that's Indianapolis. Watkins Glen, here we go. So, pit stop obviously is on this time. Mandatory tyre change, yes. Chance of dry, 24. Chance of wet, 25. Chance of changing conditions, 51. So we're going to see some wet, we're going to see some dry. We'll probably see a lot of rain. We might see a sprinkle. I'm not too sure, but it's definitely going to be mixed results out there today. And we do have, I've heard, a little bit of a helping on the old skin pack front, so we should have a few more drivers showing their delicious liveries for all of us to enjoy. We're currently on board with Sakari Lehtinen in P4 on practice pace. It is rainy and we have finished the session, so we'll be going out to qualifying very, very shortly, where we can enjoy Watkins Glen. Now, it's not a track that we go to very often, but it's one that is enjoyed by many. One of the small American racetracks, as Lehtinen lives up to his rallying prowess and touches the grass, and gives us some drifty skills going through the middle section. 11 turns then, Watkins Glen. No names, just some, well, there are some names, I lie, but very American style. The back straight, inner loop, outer loop, shoot, toe, boot and heel. That's about it. That's all they got. Simple Simon. Right, we'll probably hastily progress to the next session. There's your current pace. 2 Hondas leading. Luke Whitehead in 3rd in the Porsche, the outlier of the pack by the looks of things, with Lehtinen following just behind. Right, so we'll hop straight on over into qualifying, and let's see who's first out on track. It is Mr. Walsingham himself. We'll hop on board with him as you guys can familiarise yourself with the American track Dreams. Through turns 1 then, 90 degree right-hander up the hill as we weave our ways through 2 and 3. Small run, and then it should be into the loop. Very much like the bus stop around Daytona, but backwards. A lovely cambered right-hander over the brow, and we'll literally shoot into turn 6 and 7. Toe end of the track then, down towards the boot and the heel. Very strange names. Strange track. Turn 8. 90 degree right hander and some change. At least we got some undulation though. Last time out in Indianapolis it was almost mesmerising, the amount of 45 degree lefts and rights. Into 10, and then finally through the final corner. Careful to get the entrance spot on because it can ruin your exit and you can end up in the wall. To run down towards the line. That's a lap. It's an out lap, of course, and we'll watch the speedy one that Aiden can put together. No times just yet. It looks like the Honda's pretty fancy around here. So we almost got a lap in here. The conditions don't look like they're going to change by the end of this session, unfortunately. 30 minutes of continuous rain. If anything, more heavy rain. We won't see any changes whatsoever in this first qualifying session, so everyone's got to be used to those tyres. And we'll go through some changeable conditions. I think we're pretty sure we are in for the 90-minute race today. I will double check. So refueling is allowed. Have a little looky look. It is 90 minutes, yes, so refueling is allowed. Not mandatory, but it is. Time's coming in then. Aiden then coming across the line very quickly. Alejandro behind, but a second off the pace. Here we go, George Boothby then. 4 tenths behind Aiden. Thomas, another 4 tenths behind Boothby. Unfortunately, some poor showings coming in across the board. Look, Whitehead coming across there, 10th off the pace. Fantastic qualifying from him. See if we can find the Ripper. Current defending champion. Second place in the standings, remember. And we're in for a real fight then against Aidan Walsingham around here. He said it was an unknown quantity, this track, for the car that he's got. He's not sure on the pace in comparison to everyone else. He just don't race it enough, I guess, but he's still pretty handy around here, so we'll see how he does. We have been here before, once before, a few seasons ago, but nothing very recently, so we'll have to see what the pace is like over the full 90 minutes. Oh, Aidan improves then to put his nearest competitor 5/10 behind him. We'll stay with Luke Whitehead as he's rounding through I think he's going through turn 9 into turn 10. It's Samir Foch that he's following on track. Could be wrong. Oh, kick him over stiff in the final corner then. Comes to the line. It's going to be an improvement, but I don't think it's going to be enough to dethrone. It's not. So still 3/10 shy of what Aidan can do. And pretty much where we saw on practice pace. Lithanen in P3, Valentin Barrier in P4, Jards in P5. Maybe let's go on board with Jards. Whereabouts is he? It's through the middle section at the moment, just going down towards turn 9. Still no paint on Jards' car. Oh dear. Is that the famous Aidan Balsingham? It is the famous Aidan Walsingham. Yes, it is. Currently leading the championship and currently in the pole position spot, provisionally, obviously, but doing everything he needs to do to hold on to this qualifying session. I'm not sure Luke Whitehead's going to have enough here. As Lethen improves, Harley Chamberlain as well also improves. Honda's looking mighty round here today. 1, 2, 3 from the Honda-powered cars. Aidan from Sakari from Harley. Then we got Luke Whitehead, who's arguably out of place in that car. Harley's actually on a flyer at the moment. And Trex, welcome, buddy. Now there's a paint scheme that looks fantastic. I've got a funny feeling that is Gert Fischer, currently P22, HKS Confetti-esque. Looks epic. Being chased by Harley Chamberlain. Gert then, is he on a time? Let's see. P22, he's got up. No, he's gone down. P23. What was his last lap? It was a 1:51.0. So best time is a 1:50.6. He's got some time to find to get into the 49s. Comes across the line. That will improve him nicely up to P15 then for Gert Fischer in probably the nicest liveried car this season. Jentel the Lentil Van Thalen is back, boys and girls, and he's in P16 at the moment in his Ferrari. Jentel Dives, love it. Classic team name. So yes, unfortunately, Tim can't make it this evening. He will be back though for Tier 2 tomorrow, which you can see same time, same place as tonight, but just 24 hours difference. Should go through what's going on in Tier 2 at the moment. I'm sure he'll be very happy to hear us talking about it. Currently, Ryan Cooper leading the championship with 188 points, with a second and a first place. We've got Andriy Nestorov in second place. He's got a third place and a fifth place. Simon Kabaki in third, with Grigory Kondabarov. Now that's a name. He's in fourth place. Mateusz Kazowski in P5, with Milos Stebanovic, I think that is, in P6. Jonathan Clifford in P7. And Kevin Lejekas in P8. Marco Badowski in P9. And Yorick Ten Brinker in P10. So yeah, join us same time, same place tomorrow for Tier 2. I'm sure there'll be fireworks as always. And Tim will be here to take you through those 90 minutes. Ryan Cooper is unbeatable, really, says River. How comes? Do expand. Seems to me he's been beaten once. He'll be beaten again, can't he? Who knows? Car's he driving? Should we have a little bit more of a dig into this? Ryan Cooper from the Netherlands. Not sure what car he's driving. Bentley Continental, fair enough. The Jimmy Holm Appreciation Team. Love it. Oh, there you go. 188 points with a second place and a first place. First place was taken by Milos Stamenovic, I think, last time. It could not start the race last time out at Indy. Hopefully be back for Watkins Glen. Right, let's go through what's going on then in this current get-up. Aiden's still leading with 3 minutes to go with a 149.3. We've got Sakari Lethanen in P2. Harley Chamberlain's doing her best, bless her, in P3. Luke Whitehead in P4 with not much of an improvement. He is actually on a slightly better lap this time around. Let's go on board with the Ripper. I'll probably have to shout to be heard. Let's go team SGSS Racing. Don't know where the boys are today. I'm sure we'll talk about them at some point. It's just me today, so we'll have to give me some slack when it comes to the start. We might miss a few incidents, but we'll just have to go through it as and when it goes. We've got 90 minutes worth of me, unfortunately. Luke is only halfway through the lap at the moment. I think he's just going through turn 7-ish, possibly. No, he's not. He just went through turn 9. So hard to tell around here. There you go. Through turns 10. He's currently up 2/10 on his time. It's only good enough for second, but that's still front row of the grid. He'll be feeling pretty handy from there on in. He's lost himself a 10th though, down towards the line. He's going to be annoyed with that. That's probably going to put him third. No, he still gets second. Only just 8 thousandths in it, in between him and Sakari Lethanen. And I'm sure there's going to be some improvements from the Finnish driver in P3. He's coming through, I think that's turn 9. Oh, too much. Oh, that's wide. Lethanen definitely wide. He might have actually invalidated. He's still on the time, though. I think he might have thrown it away. Number 30 comes across the line. Is it enough to dethrone? It is! Thank goodness. 1/10 in it. Luke Whitehead then drops down to third place. Second row on the grid for the panel beater. The Ripper is going to have to settle for the second row. He might have another one in him. I think he's on a slower lap. He's definitely got time to get some more in. Whether he's got the fuel, we'll have to wait and see. I'm not sure he's got the pace to beat Walsingham today in qualifying. He might have to hope for something better in the race, but he's got himself in a bit of a pickle here. He's got traffic all around. He's got Lethanen for company that I think he might be letting pass. There you go. He has done. He's let the Finn drive past him, and that's probably the better thing for him. He's still got 1:34 on the clock, but he's going through the inner loop at the moment, I think. So he's got to get a hurry on if he wants to see improvements in this qualifying session. Then going further back, Alex Torregrossa on a better lap at the moment, 1/10 up, and he's just about to go into, I think that's the toe. This is over the hump. Daniel goes into turn 8, 9, 10, passing some slow cars. It's Apex 1, something doing some problems there, looking for a spot to get his qualifying session finally going. Don't know who that was. Wilf, the Padawan, SGSS, gets himself up into 10th place. Fantastic job for him. He will be impressed with that qualifying session. So there you go. The boys are doing it well, Aria. You'll be pleased to know. Alex is up, but it's not going to be a huge improvement. This will probably put him just inside the top 10, question mark, to the line. Oh, P11. That'll do for now. He'll get another run at it, though, but he's behind the lentil. What's going on at the top, then? Aidan Walsingham is on a lap, but he's down, so he's probably just about starting up his final lap. No, he's in. That's it. No more defence of the top spot from Aidan Walsingham. Lethanen with some time. He pulls it over then. Luke Whitehead gets a fantastic run at this then to finalise his last lap. Let's stay on board with him. He's looking to improve. He's on the bubble at the moment. He might have a 10th in hand, but not enough for it to show on my system. But we'll have to see. Down the back straight then. Into the loop. Oh my God. This commitment I've never seen before. Oh, he's overdriving the car. He slides it into the outer loop and he's lost time. He must have done. He's still up. This is absolutely incredible. I don't think I've seen anyone chuck the car with such faith into that corner in the wet condition. That was insane from Luke Whitehead. Still P3. Harley Chamberlain's a 10th behind him, up as he comes down into turn 7. He's got some traffic to contend with. Not too sure who that is. It's a Ferrari car. Oh, he's going to be frustrated with that loop. Lost the traction on the rear. A little bit too much speed carried in to the first apex, and unfortunately he got rumble stripped to oblivion. But I mean, it was fun to watch. Through 10. Or was it 9? One or the other. Don't think it's going to be much of an improvement here. He might actually get dethroned by Harley Chamberlain. Unfortunately, maybe a little bit of overdriving the car, and he will park that one. Here comes Chamberlain then to claim hopefully a position, put himself slightly above Luke Whitehead, and he doesn't, unfortunately. No improvement there. Let's have a look further down. Michael Thomas, he's pulled it into the grid, and I think that is it, apart from yes, there we go. That was Michael just coming across the line there. Right, that was a desperate last lap then from Luke Whitehead. Didn't quite get him where he wanted to be, unfortunately for him. He'll have to start in 3rd place and 2nd row of the grid with Harley Chamberlain stuck behind Sakari Lethinen in P2 and Aidan Walsingham in P1. Fantastic qualifying session from both of those drivers. Prentice Senior has joined us. Thank you very much. Take the seat that's always reserved for you in the corner, because Kieran Prendergast is in 8th place, and he's got it in for a shout of a good finish today by the looks of things. We'll keep you updated on his pace, Senior, so you know where the boy is. But at the moment, let's go through the grid as we see fit today. So, no stopping the run of pace from Aidan Walsingham, currently running away with most of all of the accolades this season. I think that's 2 front row starts at least, and definitely 2 pole positions. So looking good. See if he can capitalise on his win last time out in Indianapolis. He'll start front row, pole position for him. Sakari Lethinen, the Finnish sensation, the number 30, they will be starting from P2. Joining Aidan Walsingham on the front row. 2nd row then, Luke Whitehead. We saw that unfold. Harley Chamberlain in 4th place, also on that 2nd row. The 3rd row will be Valentine Barrier and George Boothby. That's a spicy row to be looking at. Jards and Kieran on the 4th row, a bit further back. That's going to be interesting. Is that Jards and Kieran? Yes, it is Jards and Kieran on the 4th row of the grid. Alejandro and Jentel Van Thalen on the 5th row of the grid. 9th and 10th for them. 11th and 12th and 6th row is Alex Torregrossa and the Padawan of the SGS racing team. And then we got Chris Warner and Michael Thomas on the 7th row. I think Chris Warner was that car we saw out of the way of Luke Whitehead earlier. In his Stricken Apex 1 car, the Aston Martin, well over on the right-hand side. We've got Michael Thomas then and Mattia De Campo. They'll be in I think that's P8. 8th row of the grid. They'll be joined by Krzysztof Makowski. We've got Yaroslav Dimitrov and Junko Terminen. On the 9th row, Josh Waring and Gert Fischer, 19th and 20th, and on the 10th row of the grid. 11th row will be Kirstus Podens and Angel Inestrosa. 12th row, 23rd and 24th is Samir Foch and Abe Sentema. Abe's had a bit of a stinker of a season so far. Christian Ranieri and Lucien will be in the P25 and P26. That will be on the 13th row of the grid. 14th row will be Raphael Mallow and Skylar Loverinck, pieces 27 and 28 each. Vulcan will be P29 with Adam DeBeal. That's a name from the past that has joined us today. P30 for Adam DeBeal. Matthias and Jacob Blizzard, 31st and 32nd. Then we've got Stefan and Luca Tozzato in P33 and 34. Traction Dave, way down there this evening in P35, but got good company of Matt York. That'll be an interesting little drive from those two. And we've got some drivers disconnected here. Pochpen in P37 and Sylvian Amor in P38. Last this evening, there you go. 38 drivers today. I think we're missing Alessio Mellis has run away. You can see that empty grid spot in P36-ish. So yeah, we should have 39 drivers today, but we don't. We've got 38 because one's run away. Never mind. Yes, the Sun is in P8. What a fantastic qualifying session for him. That's probably one of the highest qualifying sessions of the season for Kieran. We'll keep an eye on his progress. It's going to be very hard, I think, to beat a Honda today. We've got Honda's top and bottom. Right, so what do? You can pit and change tyres and also change your fuel load. So, with the wet condition, do they take a risk and go early? What's it saying at the top? We've got wet conditions about the same for 30 minutes at least. No changes there, but it will change because we've got a definite change written into the server. So it will get better towards the end. So at least they know that 30 minutes of this is going to be rain. So they can probably put a full tank in the car, knowing that it's probably going to do them much better if they only half the car and try and go for a weird little strategy. Because you only want to pit once, don't want to have to pit more than that, otherwise it'll be a detriment to your time. And they're off then. On flying start on the warm-up. Sakari Lebanon. It's probably like, oh my god, at the pointy end of the tier 1 grid. Just play it cool, play it cool. I'm sure they'll be fine. Whitehead looking racy behind in a sandwich of Hondas. Valentine Barrier and George Boothby in that Lexus that won't give that little further down. It's going to be a tough race with a Lexus, not many straights, so it's probably very lucky that we got some wet weather this afternoon. Might slow up as it goes to dry, so we'll have to see. He should be good on the changeable conditions, but as soon as we get some dry running, you might find the pace of those Aston Martins around him just becomes too much. Yeah, he's in a big pack of Astons. Jarge just behind, Prendergast behind him. That battle that we saw in Indianapolis between the two is going to continue into Watkins Glen. Alejandro Alves there in the Hydra SimSports livery. It's fantastic, that one looks really good. Jentel Van Thalen, the Jentel man himself. Jentel the Lentil, Toro Grosso just behind with the Padawan in his Team SGS. Lovely looking car that, actually. I didn't think he was an AMG Mercedes, but there you go. It's a good finish for him. Get himself in P11 for this race. Not too sure how well this car does around here, to be fair. I think it's a bit of an unknown quantity for me. I've got no idea what's a fast car. Obviously, we've got the custom BOP, so it's just whatever, works with these conditions. AMG Mercedes, I think we only got another one. Got Waring, I think, is also in an AMG Mercedes down there in P18. Yeah, there you go, it just goes through now. I don't think we've got any others. I think that's it. It's not a thick field. And there's the Bentley of the Yorkster. Lovely yellow Bentley. Who are we cheering for, guys? Come on, give us an idea on who we need to keep a lookout for. Who you want to keep the cameras on. Obviously, we'll focus on the top 10 for quite a big chunk, but who is the person to look out for this evening? I think we're going to see an absolute stormer from Luke Whitehead. Whether he can keep the car in one piece, I don't know. I mean, SGSS, of course. Well, we will keep an open mind on where those guys finish and how the race goes for those. We'll see. Right, so whereabouts are we then? Let's go on board with Luke. See how he's hanging. It looks like turn 9 to me. It is. Almost there then. Ponans and Yorkie. Alright, keep an idea, Andrex. Where is Podens? P20. Right, Yorkie likes to come through the field, so remember, P35 for Matt York. We'll see how he finishes. We'll keep a little bit of a little idea on where he is. And then Chris Podens in P20. 35 and 20 then, for the two men you're after. Yorkie Bentley Power, okay, alright. I know he's popular with the coordinators, that's fine. Okay, so we're running round then the final corner. The third race of season 15. Can Aidan Walsingett make it 2 in a row? Can Luke Whitehead do anything to dethrone the current championship leader as they go down towards the green light? And it is go. Good start from Lebanon on the outside there. It's going to challenge round the outside into turn 1. Here comes Luke Whitehead then for a little bit of a move on Lebanon. Has to lift out of it. Not enough time in that car to do that just then. And we're line of stern. We do have a little bit of a battle going on between Harley Chamberlain and Valentine Barrier just behind. It looks like Barrier's got the better. Round the outside then of turn 3. Fantastic move from Valentine Barrier. Hasn't updated yet, but it will do. It's going to be very hard for these guys to see going down. Oh my goodness gracious me. That looked hairy. Don't think we've got any casualties moving down the field. I'm trying to keep up with what's happening a little bit further down. That looked incredibly fun for all the drivers involved. Oh my god, what a field. Where's Matt York after all of that? He's actually gone down a place, I think. Or is he up 2? He's fighting with Traction Dave. He's lost that position, I think, at the beginning. We'll keep an idea on what he's doing. Christ, look at this. The Glen is fantastic for side-by-side racing, especially with such a huge field. Keeping an idea on what Podins is doing. Aidan Walsingham then still leading. It's only 1 lap down. Lethenen from Whitehead from Barrier. Boothby in 5th. Harley Chamberlain in 6th. Dropped a place. Jards in P7, Prendergast following in P8, Alejandro in 9, the Lentil in 10, Torregrossa in 11th. That hasn't changed. I think the only change was Chamberlain and Boothby, but it looks like that might have changed back around again. Or was it Barrier? I can't remember. Anyway, there was a small change. Let's go on board then with Boothby, seeing as he is in the crowd favourite Lexus this year. As we were saying earlier, I think the rainy conditions will help this Lexus stay with the pack, but as it dries up it might be harder. We'll have to see. Chamberlain's right up the rear end. Double downshift through the first start of the inner loop. Downshift as you go on the exit. That looked hard from the cockpit of that Lexus. Didn't look easy. As I can't remember who that was. That looks like it was Alejandro in P9 sideways on the exit of turn 5. No real movement at the top then. See if we've got some close racing going on a little bit further down. I don't want to, miss any of the fun times going on. Right, Gert Fischer then. Mattia De Campo going side by side with Christoph Mikowski. Looks like De Campo getting the better of Mikowski there. We're on board with Gert as he watches the fight between the Aston Martin and the AMG Mercedes of De Campo with a fantastic livery on it. Look at that. It's pink, isn't it? Looks a bit like that. It's got anime girls on it. Oh my god. Try and get a closer view. Can't tell. It's like a paint, like an art car. There you go. Looks pretty cool. There's Thomas just weaving then to the pit road. Trying to get a little bit of a view of what's going on ahead of him. Just to get some space. See if he can make a move possibly. Got AMG Mercedes just ahead. Little gap back to the AMG Mercedes behind. Interesting sandwich then. Whitehead still leading from Barrier. Sorry, say that again. Walsingham still leading from Lethenen. Whitehead then from Barrier. George Boothby in P5. Chamberlain in P6. Jards in 7. Kieran still following. Alejandro in P9th. Yentel the Lentil still holding on to P10. We've got Torregrossa you can see here in your picture. Chris Warner and the Padawan of SGSS just ahead. And he's under pressure here from Thomas. Chamberlain's going fast as well, guys. We'll keep an eye on that. Valentine Barrier getting incredibly close to Luke Whitehead. We might have to move up in a minute and see what's going on there because they were a tenth apart. Sorry. It's now changed slightly. It's gone down to 4 tenths. Sorry. Yeah, I think Thomas is struggling with the spray more than anything from the car ahead. Yes, you're not wrong. You've got to make sure you keep hold of these tyres because you just don't know what the condition's going to do. You don't know how long you might have to stretch them as well. That's the worrying thing. Right, it looks like Chamberlain's on charge at the moment, looking to move past George Boothby, but he's going to struggle through this little section because it's all about the power of the car, and that Lexus is an absolute rocket ship in the hands of George Boothby. Look at George using all of that rumble strip to try and get a run on the back of Harley Chamberlain. He knows as well that Honda's pretty handy around here. Lehtinen 4/10 back from Walsingham. The gap's not expanding, it's staying pretty much where it is. If anything, Luke Whitehead's falling back, and these cars are actually catching. Barrier getting incredibly close as Jards goes for a move at the outside. You're not going to get it done there. That is, a foolish place to try and pass, and he pays the price over the rumble strips. Jards, I think, is going to have to look for a better place to pass around here. This is the only problem with this. It's incredibly hard to find a place to pass. 90 minutes around here is going to be tough for some of these drivers to be able to hold on. It's a real maze. You've got to make sure you don't lose that concentration. Luke Whitehead, though, it looks like he's losing a little bit of that pace from the front-running two. He's not lost the position yet, but he's running the risk of... He has lost the position then. Valentin Barrier managed to squeeze it past. Guys, we'll go back a few seconds to see if we can see where that happened. Looks like Barrier got up the inside. I think that might have been turn 5. Unfortunately for Luke Whitehead, that was done deal. He's struggling then on that... with this stint, on that tyre, with this car, on this track. He's struggled all season. I know he's given an insight to the fact that he's not able to get the cooling under control. And yet, losing a position into Valentin Barrett this early on is a telling tale. And considering he's got that absolute rocket ship behind him of that Lexus, he's going to struggle, I think, to keep on the podium today. Jump on board with him. It could have been a mistake. We could have missed it. But he did look like he was dropping back from the front three. This releases Valentin then. He's going to go chasing after Lehtinen. But don't discount Luke, because when this dries up, and it will, he'll be very, very racy in that Porsche. And it should really hunker down in this track. Remember, seasons of old, the Porsche wasn't a bad car around here. Unfortunately, this is the part of the track where it becomes hard. Luke hugging the apex to try and squeeze every little bit of corner speed out of the car. He'll throw it into the left, hook the right over the rumble, and pray. Slightly better done that time. Didn't lose a position, Luke? Right, what's going on around and about? Jards looks like he's on a move. Wants to get past Chamberlain. Oh, a little knock and a touch and a tap and a rub. And it looks like that has been done. Possible push to pass there from Jards. Have to be careful. Little slap on the wrist. There's cars going left, right and centre all over the place in front of Boothby. I think that's Valet and Luke Whitehead going side by side. It is. Luke Whitehead getting the better of the two drivers. I think it's a left-hander here. Luke Whitehead's on the outside. He's not. He was on the inside. He had to give the position. Very strange. Luke really struggling today, but that looked like a mistake from Valentin Barrier. Opened the door from Luke Whitehead, and that was a very strange corner exit there. He almost gave him the apex because he knew he would struggle to get both of them through. Weird. Looks like such a handful round here, that Porsche. It's really struggling to unlock the potential of that car right now. George Boothby bearing down on both of those drivers at the moment. Boothby is no stranger to a top flight battle in Tier 1. Looking for a move here on Luke Whitehead. He's going to be left defenceless. The battle from last week's continuing in the background. As you see Jards and Prendergast going toe-to-toe. Chamberlain's dropped back down, actually, behind Kieran in P8. So Chamberlain's had an absolute nightmare. Harley's down in P8 then, under attack from Alejandro in P9. You can see that little group just going straight through there. Yeah, bad times then for the 725. A little bit of inexperience for Harley, maybe coming through first time out in Tier 1 with AOR. Could be struggling slightly with this kind of pace. consistency as well. It's non-stop round the Glen. There's literally no time to stop concentrating. I guess it would be very much like when we ever and finally do get to go to the Nordschleife. So Walsingham then still leading. He's not running away, which is good. Lehtinen in P2, holding on to that half a second that he's stayed in that little window, which is good to see. Could be Walsingham just really fettling those tyres in, hoping they don't fall away. I am still mightily impressed with Luke Whitehead, considering he's in the Porsche. He's the only Porsche inside the top 20-ish. You've got Angel and Estrosa there, back there in P19. Really off the pace this season for Instroza. At one point was threatening for the title a few seasons ago. Not able to turn the pace of that car into a good position at the moment. But Luke is really the outlier. If you look on your left-hand side, the only Porsche way up in a field of Astons, Hondas, and a couple of BMWs in the teens. Boothby a little further back this time. Let's go back to this fun little battle that we're seeing for P8-ish. Alejandro and friends side by side there for Yentel the Lentil through the inner loop. Risky business. We'll have a little eye on what's going on with Poland's and Matt York. Matt York is in P32, so he is making moves. Pretty sure he started P35, so he's managed to get himself a little bit of a few places up the grid. And Christos Podens is still P20, so no moves for him just yet. Whereabouts is Podens? There you go, P20. Half a second away from Terminen, who's about to make a move on Inestrosa. Keep an eye on that. Lehtinen's got himself really close to Walsingham now. 2/10 separates. This could be a turn for the books, this. Look at this. Battle for the lead here. Two Ferraris, two Hondas. Going toe-to-toe. Could Walsingham be feeling pressure here? Slightly quirky track. As Lehtinen clouts the barrier. Crossing for one more lap now. 7th out of many to come. The rain continues then for 30 minutes. Slightly lessens, actually, I think that is, isn't it? Slightly lessens after 30. Someone in the wall in the battle behind. I missed that area. That might have been Chamberlain, you know. Focusing on this battle for the lead at the moment. It was toing and froing. Got down to 2/10 a second ago. Chris Warner and the Yentel and the Lentil are going at it as well by the looks of things. There's quite a few battles going on all over the place, to be fair. We can't really focus on one. I'll keep an eye on that split time between P1 and P2, but it's looking pretty good. Boothby getting very close to Luke Whitehead, and actually that's probably quite a dangerous place to get close towards the end of the lap. He knows he's got to settle in and get close to that straight so he can get a move done. Very hard to stay with Luke through there. Looks like we're going to see probably a continuation of this for a little while. No one's going to pull the trigger on the tyres for a little while. It's whether some of these guys got the fuel strap right. The gap to the top's opened up, unfortunately. Looks like Lehtinen's made a slight mistake that's given some pace to Walsingham. A little bit of time in hand. Mattia De Campo getting very close to Waring. Don't think we'll see a move here. No matter how fast that Lexus is, I don't think we're going to get a move on Whitehead. Look how much he closes. Just got to get a good start to the lap. And that's a bad loop for both drivers there. Jards will make a chunk of time there if he got that clean. Look at those two. Alejandro, Kieran Prendergast, toe to toe. Almost side by side, but not quite. Nice little battle going on back here. Trying for a move on the outside. Not sure Alejandro's got the pace to do that. Lentil looking for some action as well. We're on the TV cam, SV, calm down. Like to mix it up a little bit, otherwise it gets a bit boring. Walsingham's managed to break that 1 second, importantly. Oh, Yentl going for a small move. Putting his nose up the inside into turn 1, but not enough space. Boothby falling back a little bit to Luke Whitehead now. Looks like Luke's been able to bridge that gap slightly. Right, here comes Alejandro. Looking to make a move on Kieran Prendergast. He might have the pace here, but it's a very hard place to make a move. It's not going to happen through there, unfortunately. Sideways for Alejandro. He's going to be under threat here from behind. And that's Chris Warner up the inside of Yentl Lentil. And he's made that move stick fantastic there. There was a little bit of a touch. And Yentl Lentil is going to have to wait a little further down. Oh, he gets past. What a dive. Fantastic. Reclaim that place. And there you go, Warner on the attack again, but doesn't get it back. Very racy from the Ferrari driver in the back of the picture there. Have a little hunt down the grid in a second, see what's going on a little bit further back. 1.5 seconds now to Aidan Walsingham. Now he's broken that toe. Lehtinen struggling to keep up by the looks of things. 1.2 back to barrier, 1.2 back to Whitehead. Then we've got Boothby nearly a second off. Pace starting to open up slightly. Jarge 0.3 from Boothby. Jonathan Chandler, I hear your pain. I hear your pain there. Right, Jards, whereabouts is he? Oh, going toe to toe with Boothby. Let's stay on board then for a second. See if we can see any moves happen whilst we're inside Jards. It's warm in here. Safe. Oh yeah, these are the fastest boys out there. They're the fastest of the fast. You should have seen. Luke Whitehead's qualifying attempt at getting through this corner we're about to see. He threw it in with a gusto I've never seen. Currently P4 for the young Briton. Judd's not able to close in on the back of Boothby here. He's trying desperately to outpace that Lexus. He should get him at this part of the track now. He's could definitely have the pace in hand over the Lexus through the twisties. Lexus just has legs then. Here we go, goes to the inside. Threatened to move, not got enough pace into that apex. Slightly misses the start actually, nails the exit. Hey, thanks Jonathan, appreciate it. Immediate sub, loving the newfound hobby. Sim racing in general, I hope. Mikowski, Dedic, I will have a look. I will check for you, Coconut Seb. Whereabouts is Mikowski? Oh, wrong one. No, Mikowski's still running around. Apex 1. in P32. We have got some, have got a few casualties by the look of things. Loverink's got a pit done in P37. It's early. It's probably not what he wanted. Never mind. What else have we got? I say he, could be a she, so apologies. They, not what they wanted. That's nice and easy. Right, let's go through the grid then. Aiden still leading. Lehtinen dropped back another second. Valentine Barrier in third. Chamberlain is in P7, trying desperately to get onto the back of Jards. Whitehead fourth, Boothby fifth, Jards in sixth, then Prendergast in eighth. Obviously watching Harley in seventh. Alejandro in ninth, Yentl in P10, Chris Warner just behind in P11. Chasing very valiantly, I must say. Got past Van Thalen once already, but not able to hold on to that position. Struggled to hold it down as soon as he got past. Get some good action in sim racing, I'm not going to lie. And yes, less of the gossip, less of the drama. It is, yeah, it's a fun old sport to watch, definitely. So if you're new, and sit back and relax and enjoy. Go back to the T-cams. Right, Warner then chasing Van Thalen. Got very close earlier, but he's not able to do it. I said I'd go down the pack, and I think we should probably do that because we've stayed in the top 20 for a little while. Let's go outside then. Krista's Podens in P20. 69 car, doing well today. Slightly off where we've seen them before. Samir Foch then, P20 run, being followed valiantly by Rafael Malo. A brilliant Brabham car, looks fantastic, doesn't it? Abe Semtema, P23, also in a good looking car. Lucian in the Forza Italia PLE racing team, fantastic looking livery again in the Ferrari. Adam DeBeal, great to see him back, I'm not going to lie. Haven't seen him in Tier 1 for a hot minute. Jacob Liz is doing well today. He's off the bounce of a few disappointing finishes. That's a nice looking livery from Stefan. Looking good. There's Yorkie. Oh no! He's got himself a 25-second penalty. Let's go through some of those. Let's see if we can get some information about what happened there, because that looks tough. Right. Let's see what happened today. Oh my goodness. Right. We have an inquiry for cars involving... Oh my god. There's like 20 cars here. 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 22, 28, 30, 38, 52, 69, 88, 99, 138, 214, 609, 695 and 840 on lap 1. Stewards take no further action. The original incident between 59 and 69 and 28 considering a racing incident. With limited view and spray, the stewards consider the involved drivers behind acted acceptably in regards to the situation they found themselves in. Annoying. Right. Oh no, here we go. This is Yorkies. 38.65 on lap 6. It looks like no further action for car 38, but a 25-second time penalty for 65 plus 2 naughty license points, 2 whoopsie points, I think I called them last time, for a causing a moderate and avoidable collision. There you go. We've got another one which I'll quickly go through. Involving cars 16, 609, 695. Those cars have been involved a lot. Lap 6, 15-second time penalty for 609, which is Traction Dave. Oh, that's annoying. Traction Dave is responsible for causing a moderate and avoidable collision. I don't think there's any naughty points. Although there is 2 naughty points to be added on. That's license points in English. So there you go. There is the inquiry so far. Not too many right now. Right, let's get back to the racing. Sorry, you've been focusing on Matt York whilst I've been reading. It's not a bad thing to focus on. Right, let's see how it's going on towards the spiky end. I don't know if we've got any fun stuff going on. We do. Podins getting racy with Samir Foch. That's a good race to watch. Right, we'll stay on board. Oh, that's a car in a barrier. I'm not too sure who that was, but that is a car in the barrier. Through turns, I think that was turn 9. Didn't quite see who that was. Oh no. Is it Kieran? I hope not. No, we're watching Kieran. Or are we? I think it was Kieran. It can't be. He's down in 22nd. What happened with Kieran? Disaster. It wasn't Kieran who we're watching, but Kieran has had a spin somewhere. Not too sure when or why, but Kieran's down in P22. That might have been why that other car was in the bin. Was that Vulcan we saw? He's yeeted himself out of the session, so no further taking part, unfortunately. And Kieran Prendergast in P22nd. Oh dear, 22. Sorry. And under attack. A lot. Both Brabham cars are under attack. Right, let's hopefully we've not missed anything else from the top, because that would be a disaster. We'll stay with these cars as they run down towards the loop. It's my son. Oh, Brenda Stadium, I'm so sorry. He's getting his own back here on the inside for the loop, and he's behind his teammate now, so you never know, he might say, look, I've had an incident, let me pass. That would be much appreciated, and he might get the whiz through. Who knows? It looks like he's faster than those around him at the moment, so disaster. He is a good driver, you're right. He does get the rub of his teammate. There you go. Lovely bit of teamwork there. Wonder what happened. Can fill us in later, Senior. Maybe fill us in next week because we missed it. I don't want to go back just in case we ruin everything. But yes, unfortunately, Kieran's found himself having a whoopsie. Right, let's see what's happening further on then. Barriers looks like he's caught up with Lehtinen. We'll keep an eye on how that goes. We're watching it right now, to be fair. But yeah, looks like we've seen lots of cars find a little bit of pace. Right, what's happening with these conditions? Still wet, but getting less in 30 minutes' time. They haven't changed yet, so we'll keep an eye on the track conditions on the top right hand of the screen. 3 seconds, Walsingham from Lehtinen. No changes there. This is the interesting little battle we're seeing right now between Barrier and Lehtinen. Looks like Barrier's got some pace in the car at this stage. Boothby, 6/10 back from Whitehead. That stayed very similar. Jard's right behind, 2/10 behind, not able to make a move. You can see them together in the background there. Oh my goodness. Valet almost pushing Lehtinen around that corner. What's happening with Jards? He's fallen back slightly from Boothby. He must be getting very annoyed with Boothby at this stage. The pace difference, I'm sure, through the twisties is quite noticeable. Let's see what Valet's doing then to try and make the move on the Finnish driver ahead. So hard to overtake around here. There's no spots in really most of the lap. It's incredibly hard. Running very wide. I guess you could give it a go into turn 6. That's where we turn 5 and 6. We've seen a few changeovers. Into turn 7 is possibly an overtaking opportunity. The toe, but I mean it's incredibly hard. Jard's looking to call the car, trying to get a bit more pace behind Boothby. Oh, that looked a little bit unsettled there for Lehtinen. Might leave him vulnerable up the run. Hasn't seemed to have worried him. Maybe it looked worse than it was. Jard slipped back slightly now. seem to remember last time we came around the Glen, it was very much the same, just incredibly hard to overtake. You've got to have so much time in hand, and these guys are so close to each other. Just wet condition also plays into that. You just can't risk throwing the car on a part of the track that is much wetter than others. You can see the clear driving line, or the drier line, the rubbered in line. Yeah, I mean, this is what we were talking about at the beginning here, Glimmeril, because yes, yeah, definitely strategic calls coming in. You can see them doing it now. Look, calling the tyre. They need the tyre to last longer. Not necessarily calling the car. It will be trying to take a little bit of heat out of that tyre. Extend it where you can. They'll do it down the pit straight as well. You'll notice they'll be on the wet part of the track to try and cool that tyre down. You're right. Yeah, it's all about pushing the strategy as long as you can, and it's using that strategy on the fly to try and hold on to position. Looks like Jards has fallen back into the Chamberlain slightly. Luke Whitehead was sideways through 9, which is always fun to see. There's something about Whitehead in the Porsche. I don't know why. It's just electric. So yeah, 30 minutes still for lessening rain. So, I mean, when do you come in? We're now inside the hour, so we're inside the normal timing stint you get. Anywhere from Blizzard's got himself a 5-second. We'll have a look at that in a minute. Whether you get yourself into at least 45 minutes, I think, do the stop, depending on what the conditions are around you, and come in for another set of wets and another tank. But will it dry all the way? That's the real question. In which case you have to come in again. Boothby so close to Whitehead there, he was almost pushing him down the back straight. Shame. Papa Prenta. He'll come back. Oh, I thought that was a dive in the inside for barrier. Saw a small opening, and that is where the main overtaking is going to happen this race. And there was Walsingham, look, 4 seconds up the road from this pack. He's not uncatchable at this stage. That's the good thing about a wet race. It does just keep that field that little bit closer, keeps the options open a little bit better. We'll have to see what comes to them later. So how old is Prenta Jr., Prenta Senior? Never really asked. Never really got into the nitty-gritty of the Prenta family. Gaps open slightly now between Valet and Lehtinen, unfortunately. 28, I think. It's a good answer, that. Good answer. I got into my 30s and all my pace ran away. The pace that I didn't really have. Never had the time to keep driving. Yes. Never had the time. Oh, definite kick of oversteer on the exit of 5. That would have cost him some time. Not enough to close the gap, unfortunately for Valentine Barrier. Oh dear. Oh, he has got a penalty, you're right. 10 seconds. Need to have a word. Yeah, maybe. I think that's probably relating to the issue that he had. We might be able to find out who was involved in that then. I'll leave you with these guys as I jump into race control. Normally I'd ask Tim to do this, but unfortunately he's in the bath. Let's have a look then. Here we go. So it was 10 and 23, unfortunately. So obviously 10 is Kieran. At 23 3 is Alejandro Abeles. So there you go. And what was it? Making contact with car 23 when the curb chicane, when in the curb chicane was jumped. Okay, so they made contact in the inner loop by the looks of things. That's probably what happened. 1 licence point, 1 naughty point, and 10-second time penalty, unfortunately, for Prendergast. There you go. That's what happened. So it's through here, I think. There was contact through here. I mean, if you have contact through here, it's good night. So it looks like it was good night for Kieran, as opposed to Alejandro, who's still going in P10. So, yeah, shame. Never mind. George was incredibly close then to Luke Whitehead. Like, incredibly close. They're inside the 10th of each other. Still no moves. Still no moves. What's going on with this rain then? Still 30 minutes out to less. It must have been, it started on flat rain all the way through, and then 10 minutes in, we saw it move over. So that rain minus will be in the next 20 minutes. We'll have a change in that minus, and I think it's been up there for at least 5 to 10 minutes. So 10 minutes more, and I think we'll start to see the lay of the land with what's happening with this condition. Whether these guys decide to go a little longer, we'll get another inclination on that rain, and hopefully, God willing, we'll have a small reduction in precipitation. We'll see. 10 minutes, I think, on that. So right when people really want to see what they're doing with their strategy. Interesting. Okay. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Luke Whitehead getting sort of out of control through turn 3. I think it was turn 2, sorry. Here he comes then, George Boothby on the run. He's got the outside to deal with, but it's favourable for this corner. And unfortunately, here comes Jards. Is he going to squeeze it as well? He doesn't, but Boothby claims a scalp, and what a scalp that is. Luke Whitehead, unfortunately, unsettling the car through turn 2-ish. It might have actually been on the rumble strip going into 2. And that really affected him on the rest of the run. And Jards is right on him now. He's going to have a hard time defending here. Jards has got to put the threat on him on the brakes. He's got to give it a go. Decides against it. Okay. Okay. His tyres are optimal. And he's got 10 laps of fuel left. Well, there you go. He's... well, what are we doing around here? Well, 150s. 10 laps of fuel. It's looking good. It's looking good for him. 150, so pretty much 2-minute laps. He's got 20 minutes to make a decision, a little bit less than that, 18 minutes. What did we say on the timings? We said it'll be about 10 before we know. So he's got 8 minutes to decide what the best form of action is. It will get drier. Luke Whitehead struggling heroically with those tyres. He's really struggling. The car's light. The tyres are going, and the rain's not easing, and Luke is really struggling. We know he struggles with the heat of the tyre, so he's probably put quite a lot of wear on that tyre. He's driving on the rear axle, you can just see it, losing grip everywhere. There's probably no confidence in that car at this point as well. Look at him, washing out. Understeering on the apex. That one was slightly better. Maybe he doesn't want to push that car, because that's when he loses the rear end and it wants to switch round on him. So I guess it's better to push through than lose the rear end, thus losing time. Much better through the inner loop. Oh, thanks, man. It's all good. We're doing the Tier 1 now for quite a few seasons. I think I started in Season 8 with Apex Online. Took over from Domino and John Watts. It was John. Needed to step away from the streaming for a while. only downside is I can't give you the quality that they were able to on the stream. You can only just about get 1080. Got to lower the bitrate to make sure we get that resolution for you guys, and unfortunately it doesn't look as good as it looks for me. I'm able to stream this, or play this, sorry, on a nice 2K monitor at 120 frames-ish. Doesn't look as nice for you, unfortunately, boys. Tried desperately to get the internet upgraded, but I think I'm going to have to lay my own line. Never mind. Right, we do have some pitters. Valentine Barrier is going to be the yardstick for us, lads, because he's just pulled in from right up at the top there. He was in P3. We're now watching the current P3, 4 and 5 battle. Harley Chamberlain holding on valiantly to the back of that. Valentine Barrier is going to be what we look at. I'm assuming he just ran out of tyre and fuel. Wasn't able to keep the pressure on, and decided, well, I'm at that point now where if it happens, it happens. It's going to be an interesting end to this race, I think. Oh, the bump draft there, down the back straight into the braking zone. I'm pretty sure there was a little bit of contact there with Jards and Luke. Boothby definitely is in optimal condition. Look at him go, he's pulled out. 8 tenths already for Luke Whitehead, fantastic. Okay, well, we'll see what happens with Barrier. This could be a cracking attempt here from Valentine Barrier. I'm not too sure what the benefit to him would be on the undercut. I'm not too sure if it's strong. Let's see how much space he's got ahead of him. I think he's got a lot. He's got so much, look. Oh, it's fantastic for him. Nice clean racetrack ahead. No spray to contend with. You can nail those apexes, get those braking points spot on. We've got a yellow flag out, continued yellow flag. We've got someone off somewhere. Still someone off somewhere. Oh, is it Kieran again? Someone just dived down the order then. No, it's Terminen. Where is he? There he is. He's had a nightmare, unfortunately. I won't skip it back because I think we're watching better things at the moment than Terminen's unfortunate terminal accidents. I don't think he'll be threatening today. Right, Chamberlain decides to pull it in. I think he's looked at the surround and thought, I might follow and roll the dice here with Valet, as he has done a few laps before. Whereabouts is Barrier? So he got himself in P24 and he's not got any friends. That's good. He doesn't have to worry about fights around him. I mean, he's got friends, I'm sure, guys. He's not got any friends on the track. Oh, poor Valentine Barrier. No friends. Jards is hustling at the moment. Let's see what it looks like from inside the cabin. On board. Sorry. He is French. Well, we'll let him off. We're not all perfect. We're not all perfect. Never mind. Just a reminder, guys, I've tagged the pit wall link at the top of your screen on the chat if anyone wants to go onto pit wall and look at the live timing. You get a link to the stream as well, so you can have it all on one page. Completely up to you. I can now. Fantastic move there from Jards. Has he gone into the pit? I think Luke's gone into the pit. It looked better than it was. Yes, he has. Oh, I thought I was too busy laughing at Glimmerill's little comment there. You can tell I'm British too. Yes, I can. Yeah. We can keep up that fantastic Franco-Anglian banter. I will definitely be down for that. Right, clear air then from Jards and Boothby. We've got some more high-profile pitters. The Lentor was pitted. Thomas and Inestrosa also pitting. Valentine Barrier is the leaders of the pitters currently down there in P20. Right, what's happening with this weather? That's probably why people are pitting. We've still not got a change on that weather screen. I said it would be 10 minutes, and that was at about 55, 58-ish minutes remaining. So, I mean, yeah, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was wrong. I know it said 30 minutes. It still said 30 minutes on there. We'll have to see. We'll have to see, guys. The old Padawan's got himself a 15-second time penalty, by the way. I know we were keeping an eye on that driver, Aria. He's doing well this evening. He's got himself 15 seconds worth of penalties. Have a little look and to see as why. Yes, we've got some more stuff here. Quite a bit more stuff, actually. Josh Waring responsible for causing a minor avoidable collision. 5-second time penalty and 1 licence point there. That was involving 34 and 99. Here's the Padawan, SGS Padawan. He is responsible for causing a moderate avoidable collision. That's 15 seconds and 2 naughty points, unfortunately for him. We've got Dimitriv, again SGSS, responsible for moderate avoidable collision. 30 seconds worth of time penalties. I mean, that's switch off, go home time penalty, unfortunately. 2 naughty points for that. That was involving 22 and 840. What else have we got here? No further action for 34 and 622. And then we've got 14, 69 and 267. 10-second time penalty for 69. I think that was a Lingui driver. 69. That's Podens, isn't it? 5-second time penalty for cars 14. Abe Semtema receives a penalty for forcing 69 Podens wide, who in turn causes an avoidable accident with car 627. So there you go, that's why. Abe into Podens, into 627. Unfortunately, those are the updates on the interesting turns of events. Right, back to the action then, or therefore lack of. Who else have we got in? Aiden has come into the pits. We've missed that. Sorry, guys. He's in and he's out. Valet, there you go. Up into second place. We thought he would. He's got Lethenen for company. So there you go. They've swapped over P2. This is the new default P2 at the moment. Fantastic for Valentin Barrier. That's what pitting early has done for you. And there was the benefit of it. Shown brilliantly by the experience of Valentin Barrier, and he is only 3.8 seconds behind Aiden now, which is actually very, very good. Luke Whitehead's come in for a pit too. You can see he's dropped back. He's behind Lethenen, 3 seconds behind second and third now. That's the gap, unfortunately. Boothby currently leading. He should be coming in soon. Jards has pulled the pit now. Let's see where he comes out, because these guys are all coming around. Jards should just be behind Luke Whitehead, I think. Boothby's done another one. Chris Warner also coming into the pits. Right, let's see what happens then. Here comes Aiden. Still no sign on that weather update, unfortunately. There's Jards. Fighting with Chamberlain, I think, on the exit. It's not done him well, that pit stop. Unfortunately, Aidan Walsingham down quite... Not Aidan Walsingham, sorry. Luke Whitehead down quite far. So, currently leading then, it'll be Walsingham from Barrier, from Lethenen. I think Boothby will be fourth at the moment, but Whitehead might pip him if he stays out for too long. Chamberlain will be in P5 or 6, moving back from there. Let's see what times Boothby's doing. So he's at the moment he's doing 151.5s What are the pitters doing? Let's have a look. Valet's doing a 151 dead, so half a second a lap they're losing at the moment by staying behind. Luke did a 150.7, which is actually incredible. Boothby goes again. Right, this is it's going to be affecting him now. Tokyo Drift through the inner loop. Still no sign on this weather. I mean, if it dries up, these guys are just going to burn their tyres and they'll have to come in again. It's whether someone's made the risk or decided to take the risk with the fuel. I doubt they have. They've just come and grabbed some rubber, even though it takes just as long to change the tyre. The Padawan's come in and he's cleared his penalty. We're waiting for Boothby to do something here. Whether he comes in this lap, I think it's going to be essential to where he falls. Arius, the diameter of accident may have been more than a love tap. I love your honesty. Yeah, current radar suggests rain till at least 15 minutes left. Wets can last. They can. They can last. Well, yeah, it's going to be interesting. No, it won't stop in 30. Because it's been on 30 for a while. I thought that moves. Within 10 minutes or no change. Within 30 minutes there'll be a slight decrease. But it's when that 30 gets into the next 10 minutes, that's when it moves. You get what I mean? They kind of shift to the left. That's what I thought anyway. And I just don't think we've had that 20-minute pass yet. I could be wrong. Because 30 minutes with a little dash on it, it's been on the screen now for at least 20 minutes. So I'm not too sure why it hasn't moved. Who knows? It's like a generation game conveyor belt. Exactly that. Oh dear, Boothby coming up to some back markers here. He's gone for another lap. Absolute mad lad. Decides to go for one more. It's looking clearer out there, I'm not going to lie. Going on board there, it's looking clearer in the distance. Is that me? It does look like it's clearer. There you go! It changed! It did a thing! Right, so within 30 minutes, we've actually got no change to the rain. We're going to be fine. There's no change. It's going to stay as is. We're all good. So, yeah, it might stop within the last 30 minutes, but I think we're going to be wet all the way through. Never mind. Wet rain. Wet race isn't as bad as it sounds. Never mind. A cuddly toy, exactly. You've won a kitchen suite. There was one lucky bastard that won a holiday for 4. You won a 7-night holiday in the Costa de la Luz. Boothby still leading. No pit just yet. Don't know what he's doing. He's absolute nuts. He's probably waiting for that weather condition to change. He's probably got Podens deaded. Oh, I hope not. Where is he? P23. No, he's still running around. He had a penalty to clear. It was about 15 seconds. So, unfortunately, Podens not doing well out of that. Oh, that's unfortunate. Look, Skylar Loverink has had a penalty slapped on the car after they pitted. That's, yeah, it's annoying. Never mind. Torregrossa then pulls the car in after a heroic stint. Boothby goes for another. Okay. Alright. Why not? He's got to be losing time now. Last was a 151.5. And what the boys doing? Aiden's doing 50s, 15.9s. Lethinen did a 50.8 last time around. Luke's doing 50s.7. So You're about a second slower than the fast boys at this stage. I think he might have dropped behind Chamberlain and Jards here. He's really got to pull the car in now. Otherwise he's not going to get the benefit of that tyre. Because they go on for so long. He could be thinking that he's getting more out of that car than he is. At the moment, he's almost a second a lap slower. He's really got to think about coming in. Otherwise it's going to be too hard for him to get that time back. Track position here is everything. And he does pull it in. Okay, well, we'll keep an eye on what happens. As I scratch out my eyes with spoons after looking at his livery for longer than 2 minutes. It's just the Hellman's mayonnaise. It's just fantastic. Thanks, Nins. Right, in he comes. And where are the boys? I see Yorkie coming through the back there. Well, how is Matt York doing? Whereabouts is he? P26. The boy's doing good. He's got company. That's Amor just behind. And a back marker in between. Yes, don't we all? Right, this is going to be interesting then. Oh, a desync there for Luke Whitehead. Right, where's Boothby? He should be leaving now. He's not. He's still. That's pretty bad for George Boothby. He is leaving and he is off. Now, he was almost stationary when Luke went past him. Where is he? Oh my goodness. He's going to be behind Jards, I think. That's a back marker. Yeah, well behind Jards. That's annoying, that. Well, there's his goal now to get moving. Not going to have much change in this weather, I don't think. So he's going to have a very fast car now, so we'll keep an eye on him. So then, let's give you an idea of the top 5 or 6. It will be, obviously, Mallow's looking like he's in the lead, but he's not. So Aidan Walsingham's currently leading. Valentin Barrier is in second place, but will struggle towards the end here. Lefton is actually very close. Might go on board with him, actually. He'll be in P3, but it's definitely threatening at this stage. Whitehead will be in P4. Should come good at the end of this race if he can hold on to the tyre. Then we've got Chamberlain in P7, Jards in 8. Sorry, that's wrong, isn't it? Chamberlain will be in P5, Jards in P6, Boothby in P7. Lefton couldn't get any closer at this stage though, could he? Right, 30 minutes to go, guys. 1/3 of this race left with 2 gone. Be halfway through our normal race. Right, this will be now a real telling tale about how the pace lies. Now George Boothby's on a faster lap. He should be starting to really get into those tyres in the next lap or so, and we'll see what the pace of that Lexus is. He's got anyone for company? No, I think he's okay. I think he's alright. I don't think we're gonna get to talk to Luke Whitehead for the first time this season. The young Brit's gonna struggle to get himself into the podium positions. Might have a chat with Leffenen today, and Valet. I haven't spoken to Valet, I think, ever. He's obviously been on the podium, but he's never normally comes in for a chat afterwards, so you never know. Aidan certainly will. Talk of the devil. Currently the fastest man out there, 1:50.2 is his time. Very spicy, considering the qualifying time was in the 49s. There's only half a tenth for his quali time. Aidan is on another level this season. Really competitive. See what Luke Whitehead can do towards the latter end of this season. A couple of bogey tracks have definitely been in the way for Luke Whitehead. I reckon in that Porsche should come to more favourable conditions towards the end of this season to see if he can retain his title. Sentema then pulls in the car. I think that was will take a 5-second time penalty as well, as Lehtinen goes for a dive up into turn 1, stops the car just in time. That will compromise his exit and entrance into this really long-winded part of the track. Not really the best place to dive. It's almost better just to lift slightly and keep in that that slipstream and have a go down into the loop. But I mean, it's all about learning where you're faster. He thought he could go there, but might have to think about that one for another few laps or so. Right, let's have a look at Boothby's times. A 150.4. I told you he'd be quick. He's yes, very quick. Not quite the quickest out there, but quick. That was the fastest he's done that last lap, 150.4, so he's 2/10 off Aidan Walsingham's fastest. Aidan's, at the moment, he last was a 150.8. So yeah, they're all fluctuating on times. I think Aidan just had to go through some traffic, so that might have been why, but this race between these two drivers is slowing both of them down. As you can see, Luke Whitehead just edging closer, slowly getting into that slipstream. And we'll hope that these guys battle, because then he'll be right in the mix. Ever the hunter is old Whitehead. Very wide for Lehtinen. I mean, it always is in AOR Tier 1. The racing's always very good. But you're right, very close. Only problem is, obviously, Walsingham's just got himself that lovely cushion and is able to just drive away. Very Max Verstappen-esque this season. Just managed that tyre in the first stint, got it to a place where he could pit without risk. Was never really under threat from Valle. Slightly came out with 3 seconds to spare on his nearest rival. Unfortunately, Boothby, I think, just went a few laps too many. Otherwise, he might have been able to challenge. Luke Whitehead's really been off the pace today. Struggled with the car in the wet round here. I think it might have been a different kettle of fish in the dry, but yeah, never been able to switch that car on and look threatening. He's always looked on the back foot. The Honda's definitely the car to be in today. Lehtinen is looking very racy. And Chamberlain's he's always been on the back of someone, but Jard's chasing him at the moment. It might be quite hard to overtake that Honda, given the pace at the moment. What's he doing? 150.8, exactly the same as Jard's, 150.83, 150.837, sorry, 87 for Harley. So slightly quicker from Jard's. Boothby's doing quick times at the moment, 150.5, as quick as Aidan Walsingham currently. He's one to watch at the moment. He's slowly catching Jard's behind. Oh, I mean, yeah, look, don't take that away from him. He's still in a Porsche in this field with this BOP. Yeah, I mean, it's still fantastically good. Yeah, you can't take that away from him. He might even be able to sneak a podium here with the battles that's going on. It's getting close then, with Sakari looking for a place to take the position away. This will definitely sort out the men from the boys. Round snuck him through the inside. They're still side by side then. This will definitely give Luke Whitehead a little sniff, a little chance, a little treat maybe to have. Something to behold. Here he is, Luke Whitehead on the outside of Valle, I think it is. Yeah, Lehtnin's just ahead. And what a place for Luke Whitehead to be. Valle will have to concede, and he doesn't. He holds on to the place, and Luke Whitehead of old would have definitely squeezed him harder. The wet conditions there, that you've got to understand, they're going how hard that is in those conditions with these cars. That was brilliant control from Luke Whitehead and Valentin Barrier. This is why these guys are racing for the top spots to Tier 1 all the time, every year, because of that car control through there at that speed. A side-by-side through the bus stop at Daytona, in the wet. It's incredible. Well, there you go. And that was all started there by a little Finnish driver who disappears off and tries to hunt down Aizen Walsingham. I'm not sure it will happen. And Valet, unfortunately, now is going to suffer with those tyres. Oh dear, never mind. Unfortunately, we are seeing the downsides of pulling the earlier pit there. And I think Valet's definitely really struggling to turn that car on. And this is where I said we could see a sneaky little podium from Luke Whitehead. He needs those points to keep the championship alive. He needs to try because he's got some very fast cars coming behind. You've got Boothby, who's setting almost lap records at the moment. Chamberlain's in a Honda, so he's going to be fast. And you've got Jards there. He's always on the better side of the stopwatch. Is Luke going to try something here? I don't think he's got the legs. Oh, he might do. Barrier falling foul to the accident that happened to Luke earlier in the first stint. Getting too wide on the rumble, losing the rear, losing some time. But the legs of this Porsche are going to struggle down the back straight. Stay in that slipstream and try and hop to the inside. He's not going to do it. Hope for a better line. Hope for a mistake from the driver ahead. Getting the wash there from Valet. Throttle control was just neat though, wasn't it? Oh! Squeaky! I don't think so. He's doing sick. Oh, yes, but he swapped places. Yes, something's happened. Boothby's up. I don't want to risk going back, but it looks like Jards and Harley Chamberlain may have come together somewhere recently. Because they both were in front of Boothby, who's now behind. So it looks like last lap there was a little incident between the two. We missed that. Yeah, Harley lost it. There you go, Jard and Chamberlain collision. Sorry, boys. I was too busy letting you see the inside of the car with Luke Whitehead. We might have seen that on the screen, so apologies. But I don't want to go back now. We're too far gone. We won't live in the past. Harley lost it right in front of Jard. Ah! It's so hard in these cars. And that just goes to show how impressive it was to see Luke Whitehead and Valentin Barrier go side by side through the loop. Ah, never mind. Chamberlain's driven brilliantly. Oh no! Right, guys. Apologies. Massive apologies. We've had a crash. We'll get straight back on it for you. We are still live, I promise. We'll just get straight back into the server. We had a game crash. Just a hardware. We're all good. Hopefully we can get back in before this race ends. Not got long. I will hurry as quick as I can. Ripperoonies. Can I get some Fs, please? I need some Fs to help me along. We're on our way. We are on our way. We're back. Did that quick as a mongoose through sand. We might have to just restart the timing screen. for you guys. There we go. Lovely jubbly. Like a cat through butter. There we go. Brilliant. Apologies. Right, we're back. Thank you very much for that. Never mind. Oh dear. It's not always the drivers that have the hardware issues. It's a rare game crash for ACC. It's going to be very stable. Very stable. Still 20 minutes to go. Right. Not a big loss. We're all good. Right, where were we? Luke versus Valet. Right. Brilliant. We'll stay with this. Boothby getting very close as well. What are we talking about? I think we're talking about Jards versus Chamberlain. Unfortunate comings together. Hurry up, F. I think that was pretty quick, to be fair. We managed to switch that around pretty damn quick. I think we were down longer than 30 seconds. We've done this before. We've ripperoonied a few times. Right, I'll shut up and leave you for a lap or two. Watch Luke Whitehead on board. See if we can close down Valentine Barrier. I'm actually quite impressed that Valley's able to hold on to this car for this long. He's got a significant amount of laps on those tyres than his competitors around him. He's very lucky that he's got Luke behind him at the moment, considering Luke's pace. Problem is, they'll both get pushed into Boothby within the next, I would say, 10 minutes. Boothby will be on them probably before then, and that's going to cause a few issues, I think. Walsingham's got himself such a nice lead now, 10 seconds. Nice little cushion between him and Lehtinen, who arguably doesn't have the pace this afternoon to cope. Last lap for A was a 150.3. Last for Sakari was a 150.9. So yeah, Sakari Lehtinen not on the pace that Aiden's on this afternoon. Aiden just absolutely wringing the neck of that Honda. Maybe it was a season or two of living in the shadow of Luke Whitehead's success in AOR. 4-time champ now. He wants to turn at some silverware and a pair of socks, I must say. If you're interested in a pair of SIMSOKs, boys, they are fantastic. I think they cost roughly about £30. Get a large size, just FYI. If you just have normal size feet, get a large. They're brilliant. They've got little patches on the bottom. They hold on to your pedals much better. If you're like me and you've got some Fanatec ones, they're quite slippery. A little bit slippery underfoot. So, any purchase you can get, it's fantastic. So yes, our other sponsor, Driver61. If you want some tuition, or you just want some sim racing news, I know we had some chatters in the chat saying that they are new to sim racing. Hop over there. Driver61 will give you some tuition, some insights to how you can become better, how you can improve your game. And I think they have some information about what's going on in the community at large and also in the real racing universe. So hop over there for some information, grab some socks whilst you can. We don't shout out the sponsors enough because they keep the streams going, they keep the servers running, they keep the lights on. Are they slipper replacements? Kind of. Well, they're socks, mate. They're socks for sim racing. But yeah, I mean, if you race in your slippers, I for one always race in socks. I think because we're having some action here, we should really stop talking about socks. I've always grown up with sim racing socks. I grew up using a Fanatec system, and you don't really need that pressure Sorry, Logitech system. You don't need that pressure underfoot. Ended up getting actual shoes when I got the Fanatec pedals. Socks kept slipping off my feet. Well, there you go. Did your first endurance race this weekend. 3 hours of Spa. Had a blast. I love it. Fantastic. We're seeing George Boothby getting rather threatening on the back of Luke Whitehead. That's fantastic. Root. The more the merrier. You'll soon get that mist of endurance fall over you, and you'll get together with your friends. You'll hash out a setup for your car that's great, that you all work with. Then you all get your times in and take your turns in your cars, and then before you know it, you'll be doing 24 hours of Daytona or 24 hours of Le Mans with your best buds. It is some of the funnest stuff you can do on a computer. Wink, wink. Boothby's hustling. He's hustling the boys ahead now. Defensive then from Luke. Hugging the apex a little bit more. Defensive again. Going early to the apex. I think 6 to 12 hours is my max. I mean, you take turns. Endurance racing is the best experience in my opinion. It is. 2 years on the trot. Me and my team have raced Daytona. I think we raced it this year as well. The last 2 years I raced it, we had collisions, and unfortunately I was driving at about 4 AM. Always the way. It's always the nighttime hours that get you. Exactly. Endurance racing is all about the time of friends. You will always remember them. I remember once one of our drivers managed to flip the car in the pit lane on exit. How? I don't know, but some of the funniest moments. Luckily it was only practice. The late night conversations with your team as you're watching your best buds drive around, some of the funnest you'll have. Some interesting conversations come up as we see a race down into the loop with Boothby, Barrier and Whitehead all neck and neck through there. I think everyone is faster going back. Obviously Boothby faster than Whitehead, but Whitehead faster than Valet at the moment. So yeah, they are all struggling to try and stay on the track. Boothby going incredibly wide and holding on somehow. Did a 2-hour stint yesterday. It was brutal. First 2-hour run I've done. Really new to sim racing. I mean, that's what it's all about. Enjoy it. Do more and more and more. It's fun. I've not done it enough recently. I wish I've done more. And now this year with iRacing's rain, that's going to be pretty spicy for 24 hours of Le Mans. Oh, Luke Whitehead sideways on the back of Valet Barrier. He's looking desperately to get past now. They're losing time. Boothby's going to be trying to get past in the next few. Let's go on board with George. Here comes Boothby. He's going to make the move here. Luke Whitehead, I'm not sure he's going to be able to defend this. He'll stay on the inside line, but I think Boothby will swoop through, and he has. He'll take that position. Just a little too fast on the legs. There was nothing that Luke Whitehead could have done. Jard's lonely behind, slowly trying to catch up. I think he might just get within touching distance of these guys, but I'm not sure he's going to be a threat for the rest of the race. think the real question now is how long will it take Boothby to get past Valentin Barrier for second place. I think Boothby's going to be surprised with his pace in this Lexus this season. It's not great if you've got some sim gear and it cuts out after an hour's worth of racing. Surely they've got to be rated for longer than an hour. That seems nuts. If it were me, I'd maybe have a chat with the manufacturer if that's the case. Look at Luke trying desperately to get back into his position. He's not going to give it up without a fight. Boothby's obviously been slowed down by Barrier ahead. Both are looking to get past each other here. Boothby on Barrier. Oh my goodness, Boothby on the outside. Goes wide. He's going to be vulnerable. Here comes Luke Whitehead up the inside. Fantastic position gain. And I think he might have to give it back. He's not going to be able to keep on to it through 5. Ah, Luke tried so desperately through there. Almost got that position back. And I think they're just going to have to go again. And he will go again. They'll be right behind each other going into 7, I'm sure. Luke's already decided he's not going to attack. Or is he going for a switchback? He tried almost there. Do it, Christian. I think we've got, and I think we've got 8 tiers this season. 7 tiers this season. Sometimes there's more, but there's plenty of positions there, plenty of time frames to slot you into. It is definitely the most competitive ACC Sim Racing League out there at the moment. For pace, Tier 1 boys are on another planet, especially this top 10. Incredibly fast this season. They're just properly on it. We've got a group of 5 or 6 drivers here that are just very, very close to each other, and any driver on their day can definitely win a race. But Einar Morskim's becoming the outlier this season. 12 seconds ahead from Lehtinen, who's having a brilliant race actually. First time out with us this season, and he's absolutely storming away. And then we're watching this this battle here, Barrier versus Boothby versus Whitehead. That's going to go down to the wire, I think. We're going to have another attack here, going down towards the inner loop. Boothby thinks better of it. The pace difference in the cars to be able to attack into that point of the track it's got to be so high. He's losing so much time. So Boothby's best is a 150.3, and at the moment he's doing 152.3. Okay, I mean that was after the incident that didn't net him the position gain, but still 2 seconds slower than his best. I did the CSL DD upgrade as well. I've not used it as much as I wanted to. Need to get a seat and a base. It's I've got the desk attachment, but it's too powerful. Shakes the whole thing, and you can't use it for longer than a couple of hours. It's a great wheel though. I find it a bit floaty though. I don't feel massively connected. You gotta do what you gotta do, Ari. Yeah, I'm thinking that too. Yes, definitely. I'm going to get myself a GT Omega seat, I think, and base, Titan or something like that. Luke Whitehead doing some Japanese stunts through the inner loop and not losing the car is why we watched Tier 1. That was full oppo lock, that was fantastic. Should we watch that again? Not got much else to do at the moment. Watch this. That was incredible. It's quite true. That opposite lock moment there from Luke Whitehead doing the business. He's literally whipped it round, manages to drift the car through. Brilliant. It's the most alive car on the track at the moment. That little Porsche, bless it. Right, so has Boothby got enough in the trunk to be able to do the thing he's been trying to do for the past few laps? We'll stay on board with Whitehead, because you can get bird's eye view of what's happening ahead. And he's very close this time. A little bit of netcode it looks like there for Boothby. All over the place. On the outside again. Here we go. Take two. He's gonna have to yield. Oh, a bit of contact there, I think. Whitehead gains some time. Jards is right in this now. There he is. Ever waiting. 2 minutes to go, guys. Not long. Aidan Walsingham would have got his second win of the season. He says. I'm going to curse him. Talking of curses, Luke Whitehead will break the curse, I think, of getting a second place. 2 second places he's had now in a row. That honour, I think, will go to Lehtinen. And Walsingham is running away with this season so far. And with this points finish for Luke Whitehead, he's going to be in a real disadvantage now. 179 and 176. 3 points differ between them. Aidan's going to get another chunk now. He'll be on 279. Luke Whitehead, where he is, he'll be in P5. He'll get himself 65 points. So, yeah, that's a huge deficit. It's a 35-point deficit between the two. So, there'll be 32 points between them after this race. Not insurmountable, but still not what they want. Not what we want for a close championship. But it's going to be close anyway. Boothby's going to get a nice hefty bit of chunk of points from this. Bit more Franco Anglo argy bargy. Oh dear. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with a bit of argy. Right, here we go again then. To the outside. Not going to happen there, George. Not with that pace. You have to wait. UK OG man struggling to get past Valentin Barrier, who's done a brilliant job on strategy this afternoon. I think he was down in 7th, 8th place, roughly. Maybe 5th. Decides to come in early. He's got himself 3rd. Hey, Kargulu, welcome back. The keyboard warrior himself. We will be streaming, yes. It will be Tim, I would have thought, be streaming, because he should have joined us this evening, but he's not feeling very well. So we'll have to see how he feels tomorrow. Otherwise, there might be a break, and we'll be back next week. But we'll see. We'll see. I think his aim is to do it, but he's got a very sore throat, and he didn't want to do today because he wants to rest for tomorrow. So he should be streaming. So yes, jump on to watch that. It looks like it's going to be a good race. We'll see. free wood and stolen passenger seat for now until I can get aluminium profile. Yeah, I mean, is what it is. You got to do what you got to do. Right, George Boothby is definitely trying again on the back of Valet. Down into turn 1. Both of them braking, and it's the exit of one that normally upsets cars, and none of them get upset. So we go again. Final lap. Then the timer is gone. We almost missed the end there. Aiden's on his final run of the day. George Boothby is definitely got a run here on Valet. He's going to try and get him before the end. On the outside again, Valentine Barrier defending that inside line. Boothby's got to go for it. Kept the nose in, and there's a touch. Here comes Luke Whitehead up the inside, and he takes the positions away from both of them. Boothby is going to get a slap on the wrist for that. But, I mean, where did he think Valet was going to go? Valet should have seen that he had a bit of the car up the inside, but it's a tough one. Luke Whitehead then gets himself up into third place. We might actually talk to the Ripper in the end. I didn't think it would happen. George is crying in naughty points. Unfortunately, it hasn't come off a Valentine Barrier. He's going to be down in 5th place. It's a shame. I think George has actually snuck his way up, and he'll actually be in 6th. Never mind. Right, where's Aiden? He's going to be coming across the line very soon. He's behind a gaggle of cars. Some of them include Yorkie, who's had a really good race, actually, considering. Round the final corner, then, for Aidan Walsingham. Another win. It makes twos for two for Aidan Walsingham, and double bubble on the 100 points. Glory in the United States for Aidan Walsingham. 2 American tracks on the jump. Sakari Lethinen, what a driver we found. He's got himself 2nd place and a good hunk of points. Here comes Luke Whitehead for the finish for 3rd place. That rounds up the top 3. Boothby comes across the line in 4th. I think. No, he's down there. Jards is 4th. Barrier is 5th. Boothby gives the position back to Barrier at the end there as a sign of sportsmanship by the looks of things, because he knows he was struggling. Harley almost losing the car on the final corner. It's definitely not what you want. Here's Aviles with the Lentil and Torregrossa coming across the line 1, 2, 3. And that rounds out the top 10, I think, there. What a finish for these drivers. What a brilliant finish there. Mattia De Campo coming across the line as well. We've got any other close races still out there. I think we've got P19's incredibly close. Yes, look at them. They're side by side. Fantastic racing down towards turn 10. Whereabouts are they? I think they're going down towards 8. It is for position. That's Waring versus Pochopin. Turn 9. Waring might get it back there. Maybe the car's struggling. Fight for the end for both drivers. Yeah, look at the rear end of that Porsche. Just can't keep up. Tyres are absolutely gone. And that'll be the end, I think, now. I don't think we've got any more. We might have a few more cars running around, but no close races we've seen. I think it might be Matt York and such that's still going. There you go, crossing the line. Oh, I think Samir might have just pipped him to the end there. That's a shame. Never mind. Oh dear. Well, hey, we got something to talk about now. Aidan Walsingham doing some Donaroonies. Lethinen, first time we might have a chat with a Finnish driver, and Luke Whitehead managed to sneak onto the podium on the final lap. Oh my goodness, that was a crazy race, guys. Thank you very much for staying with us through all of that. Now, those of you who sit with us a little longer, you'll know that we'd like to have a chat with all of the podium finishers at the end here. So we'll see if anyone jumps in. Luke's the first man here, so we'll maybe have a chat with him and others. If Aidan jumps in, we'll have a chat with him. Let's just hop into another view so you're not bamboozled by everything else that's going on. Right, seeing as we haven't got any other people waiting, we'll get Luke in first. Luke, I'm not going to lie, I'm surprised. What an end.
I'm not.
No, I mean, about you managed to get onto the podium. You suffered massively with that car, I'm not going to lie. It just, you were always on the back foot. Obviously, it's the conditions, the car, it's just, you're the only Porsche, like, anywhere near the top 10. So that's a takeaway. But were you surprised that you got the podium at the end?
Not particularly. I mean, first off, good evening, everyone. Hope you're all well. But yeah, I mean, I could see Valor really wanted to hold on to that position, and I knew that something would kick off eventually. And yeah, it took long enough, but it did eventually. I myself nearly had a run in with the rear of the Aston, just a bit of a couple of late defending moves here and there. Nothing really to write home about. Nearly ended our race, but it's nothing serious other than that. But yeah, the car just wasn't quick. It's as simple as that. The Honda is half a second quicker than we are.
Yeah.
And the Aston is quicker than us. Even the blimmin' Lexus is quicker than us in the wet, and there's nothing I can do. Setup was as good as I could make it, and we were just crap slow, to be honest with you. And yeah, it's pretty depressing. I mean, even in the dry, I don't think the story would have been any different. I mean, the car feels good in the dry, feels good in the wet. It's just slow.
Yeah.
It's that simple, really. The Honda, I knew it'd be quick today. In the wet, it was just, well, basically, if it rains, the Honda will win. It's as simple as that,
It's a rocket
really.
ship in the wet.
Yeah, there's nothing much you can do. But yeah, it's life. Just got to deal with it. I've picked the car, just got to deal with it. And yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a shame. Lucky I got the podium, to be honest, because I could already feel the championship slipping away a bit. But yeah, we've been given a lifeline there. Yeah, we've been given a lifeline. Just need to hope every other race for the rest of the season is dry. I know Brands next week is dry. I know Paul Ricard is likely to be wet.
Yeah.
Suzuka is dry. And Spa is, well, likely to be wet again. So
it's a 50-50.
my odds aren't great, but yeah, my odds aren't great. But I mean, Brands next week, and I go well there. So just need to hope that the Honda doesn't. It's as simple as that. Just need to hope for a bit of an off day. Well, an off day from Aiden, and unfortunately, he is a man that doesn't have off days.
Super consistent at the moment as well. Just absolute machine-like consistency. But yeah.
Well, I drive with him a lot in series, and I see that he is, extremely, he's a talented driver. He's not been in the game that long, and he's really, really strong. So, him and that car, as I say, the car's very good, but doing him no disrespect, he's doing an awesome job. You have to pedal the thing. And as I say, he's doing it better than everyone else. So, GG's to him. But, yeah, just a bit of a stark outlook, unfortunately, but just got to keep pushing, wrestling results out of the Beetle, and hoping that it sticks.
There were some fantastic moments through the bus stop. Oh, well, I call it the bus stop because it's just the easiest thing to describe it, like you do on other tracks. Through the loop, side by side with Valet was insane. I don't think I've ever seen. And also, your final quali run. What kind of speed were you trying to take through there? It was insane.
Too much. I tried taking too much and nearly spun. So.
It was a huge amount of... And then towards the end, a full opposite lock moment as you were coming through, which was really cool. We rewound and rewatched that. Don't take too hard on yourself on these, on the results at the moment, because we are getting some fantastic racing anyway from you. So yeah, we're always Team Luke over here. So yeah, well done anyway. Podium. I didn't expect it. I thought you were going to struggle, but you managed to pull it out the bag. So well done.
Yeah, no, I'm happy. I'm glad I could put on a show for you guys, albeit not the result I wanted.
It was still a good result.
Good content.
Good content.
Good content.
Good content. Yeah, the chat also, they realised that you were on the back foot with the car, so they were like, I mean, in the Porsche as well, and it's custom BOP. So what can you do? Right, Luke, I'll let you go.
Yeah.
I'll let you go. I'm going to speak to Aiden. Right. Thanks for joining again, and I'm sure we'll speak again.
Yeah, all good.
No problem. Speak soon.
Yeah. Love. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye-bye. Aiden, congrats. Huge win, man. Like, unstoppable. I think you led every lap there. You came in, pitted, and came out almost in the lead by a good thing. It was 3 seconds. I mean, it was obviously you were behind the guys that didn't pit, but yeah, 3.5 seconds I think it was in front of Valet, who managed to get himself an absolute wizardry strategy, but then suffered at the end. Any question marks throughout there that you weren't going to run away with it? It looked like a pretty dominant performance.
Hello, thank you. Rear tyres were fun. I don't know if you've ever experienced 30 degrees ambient temperature in the wet. It's not something I experienced before today, but the wets were hardly holding together. I think some other cars suffered worse than I did, but no, that's the first time I've experienced proper drop-off in the wet, and the rear tyres were getting pretty sketchy towards the end of both stints. So I had a gap to be comfortable with, so just relaxed, didn't push as hard. and yeah, like you said, pretty dominant. It's pretty chilled. I just had to be careful with the rear tires.
It was a pretty good performance, man. I can't really fault it. I didn't see any incidents. It looked like you were managing a little bit at the beginning on the first stint, just trying to make that tyre go a little longer. I mean, did you think it was going to rain the whole way through, or did you kind of hold out to say that it might go dry at one point? But that 30-minute timer kind of stayed where it was the whole time. It never changed.
I took enough fuel for like an hour and 5 minutes ish, and like I could have saved if I needed to, but I was taking no chances. I played it safe with the fuel as well, and fortunately managed to break away a bit at the start.
I think as soon as you broke that toe from Lehtinen, it was almost, game over for him. I think your pace was too strong today, by the looks of things. But I mean, he's done a fantastic job getting that car up there. So yeah, you got some competition, some drier races coming up the next few. I know Luke's going to be hot on your heels through Brands. Got a plan for Brands Hatch?
I think he's going to be flying in Brands. He's like it looks like it's going to be pretty cold.
Yeah,
there's no rain. It's absolutely dream conditions for him and the Porsche. So I think next week is going to be a Luke Whitehead special.
We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Well, hopefully we have a Luke versus Aiden special. That's what I'm looking for. I want the two teammates battling it out for the top spot. Look, fantastic performance. Two wins on the trot. Let's see if you can claim one from Luke Whitehead. He's had 4 in a row now, ish. Let's see if we can make this an Aidan Walsingham season. I've got high hopes, man. I've got high hopes. We said before we're also Team Aidan over here, and we wanted you to perform. We were all looking for those performances to come, and they have. Your consistency has been like machine-like this season.
Thank you. Practice paying off, right?
100%. Yeah, just incredible performance. So yeah. Anyway, I'll let you go. I won't bore you anymore with egotistical comments about how good you are, because I'm never going to get that fast. But Aidan, well done. Honestly, dominant performance from start to finish. We'll see you next week, I'm sure.
Thanks a lot. Catch you next week.
No problem. Speak soon. Alrighty. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So there we go. He wasn't Aidan, hardly mentioned you. He was, I'm afraid he was. Right, so that is it. I don't think we're going to get Lehtinen in for a chat. I'll remind him, you can always hop in. The top 3 we always like a little chat with. So we won't get a chat with the second place man. Never mind, it's all fine. We'll leave it there, guys. Thank you very much for keeping me sane in the chat. 90 minutes on your own is a long time, so I hope you enjoyed. And if you want to join us again tomorrow, you can with Tim. Normally it's me and Tim in the comms box if you're new here. Obviously he wasn't with us today. He will be back next week for Brands Hatch with the return of Luke Whitehead, I'm sure. Like Aidan said, those conditions look fantastic for the Porsche. Right. Should points be taken away? No, it's absolutely fine. If he doesn't, they don't always have to come and have a chat. Right, so tomorrow it will be the same thing. Watkins Glen for Tier 2 with Tim. Join him from 7:30, 90 minutes again for the Tier 2 boys. A lot happens in the Tier 2, so do join us for that. It would be fun racing, I'm sure. Come and support. If it doesn't happen, it's probably because Tim's not feeling very well, but he said he's going to try, so you might have to bear with him. Make sure you tell him to drink plenty of hot lemon and honey. Anyway, I'll end it there, guys. Thank you very much for jumping in, and we'll see you next week.